Alright guys, welcome to another episode of Entertaining Interviews. Today I am joined with...
Me, Tim. I'm a filmmaker and I fix broken IT stuff, which is a pretty good summary of things that I do, really. It is a bit more detailed than that, which I guess you want me to get into now.
Please, by all means, take your time.
Yeah. Well, it's not the day job that is of any interest, really. It's my superhero lifestyle that...
And he wears his
he's really
underwear
after.
outside his pants.
They can see I'm not...
I told him to cover up for this time.
So when I say I'm a filmmaker, I do a number of different things. I provide film gear to crews for making films. I make films and short films, and we'll be getting into some feature film very shortly myself. Though I do spend more time helping other people make their films than working on that. I also make a lot of YouTube videos, like this fella here does. And I've got 3 different channels. I've got my vlogging channel, I've got a channel that's just getting started off called YouTube Video Tips, and another one where I play Minecraft in the hope that teenage kids and young teenage kids will binge watch it and make me a shitload of money.
And you've got a another, it might be channel or playlist happening at the moment, pre-48 hours this year, don't you?
That's part of the YouTube Video Tips. Yeah, we've got a whole series of videos coming, and we're going to really launch it once I've got a dozen or 2 up there. I'm going to rapid fire those out from this weekend. I've been recording some more today while on set. It's great. The good thing about being on a film set is that there's heaps of time where you're not doing anything, which is why they say movie making is all about hurry up and wait. And while I was hurrying up and waiting today, I decided to sit down in the middle of the national park where nobody else was there because I was looking after some gear. And I just sat down and started making another vlog on my phone. And the great thing about vlogging is you can create something anywhere you are.
Yeah, that is, one of the highlights of vlogging is it doesn't matter what you vlog, doesn't matter where you vlog, and it doesn't matter who you vlog, you can always make something interesting that somebody wants to see.
Yeah, or it could be complete crap, but you don't publish those ones.
No. There's been a couple that I've kind of been like, I'm not going to publish that, or, I like that footage, I'm going to use that in another vlog or another video at some point.
I have done that and gone and recycled stuff that I've used before, yeah.
Yep.
Or that I've captured for one, but it wasn't suitable for that vlog, and then I'll go use it in a montage or end credits or something for something else.
Because don't you hate that moment when you're filming something, you're like, right, okay, my vlog's going to be about this today. You go out and film it, but before you know it, something's happened, so your vlog changes and you've got all this footage that you end up having to use for another time.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time. Yeah, you get this enthusiastic idea and you're going to go out and do something, and then all of a sudden you can't keep filming. So the start of what you did, you got this beginning and entrance to the middle of a story, and then you don't have a conclusion to that story, and without the conclusion, the first bit, no matter how good it is completely useless.
Yeah.
Yeah, though you do start to learn some strategies for dealing with that as well, sort of by, Casey Neistat's really good at this actually, because something will start in the morning and then he'll get pulled off to something, or it'll get cancelled, and he's just got this nice way of being able to twist that into part of the story of his day. So he takes the beginning of that story and morphs it into the beginning of a different story. Which is a more general thing, but yeah, he manages to rescue stuff quite nicely. So I've been watching how people do that kind of thing and learning from it and doing that as well.
What got you into vlogging?
Basically an extroverted kind of drive to want to be famous and recognised and admired by millions and millions of people.
I think he's going to need a facelift and a few other things before
That didn't work. But
well, it hasn't worked yet.
No, but the other drive, which is more of a thing, is being able to just have the ability to create something and make something every day, because that's quite an important thing to me. It also gets me out there getting more exercise so that we can get rid of these things.
Mm. Yeah, well, I've done a lot of walking and I'm getting last 3 days.
I did 21 kilometres yesterday,
Look at
walking in and out of the bush with with heavy special effects
that.
gear.
I'm glad you had an ending to that, walking in and out of the bush with.
With special effects gear, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. And obviously you've been on set today, so talking about your walk count, have you checked what you've done today?
Nowhere near as much today, but I've definitely filled up all 3 rings on my Apple Watch, which is good. Yeah, which is what I'm trying to do every day as well.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you enjoy sort of vlogging? Do you enjoy the game aspect? Do you enjoy the personal aspect, or the how-to aspect?
I really want to do more of the gaming stuff. A lot of people do the gaming stuff though, so I'm having a look around to find some sort of niche that I can do that with. Yeah, everybody says, "Oh, go do Fortnite," but then that's because everybody's doing bloody Fortnite.
It's the only game I'm hearing about at the moment.
Exactly, everybody's playing Fortnite, and the main reason for that is it's a free game. So, great strategy. They're going to give millions and millions of people this free game, and a small number of a small portion of that will go and buy the extra stuff.
Mm.
The in-app add-ons and things like that. But that number that buy that will be much larger than the people that might have just bought a full price game. So they're going to make a lot more money off it over time. And it's quite a common strategy for software at the moment, is deploy the basic one for free and then charge for the add-ons once people have got an appetite for it.
Yeah,
and it happens.
I think they did the same thing with League of Legends, didn't they? They made the game free, but you've got to buy the cards to be able to get the add-ons and whatever else.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but the first one that really took off with it was of course Candy Crush. Yeah, they're a free game to buy, but if you really want to get to the next level and don't want to spend weeks and weeks and weeks doing it, you got to buy some stuff to boost you up a little bit, and there's definitely an advantage in doing that.
It's quite a cunning way. If only there was a way in a format like that for us creators. Just to sort of give out something for free, but if they want to see more, they've got to pay more.
And Candy Crush is such a simplistic game, but because it's free, and because they just hit somebody's imagination at the right time and got publicised as this, hey, new thing, they did the right thing at the right time, and they got all the publicity for it. And then they started doing the in-app purchases, which is what the whole thing was written around, making money from. And at the end of the day, I think it was a group of half a dozen of them. This company was still really small because they weren't doing a lot. They just had this one product that they were building, and they sold it for... Hey Siri, how much did Candy Crush sell for?
Okay, I found this on the web for how much did Candy Crush sell for. Take a look.
So King sold to Activision Blizzard for $5.9 billion US. That's how much Candy Crush sold for.
I have a feeling we're in the wrong trade.
Yeah.
Okay, so as of tomorrow, we're game designers.
Yeah.
How do we start?
They already did it.
But we can come up with something. But how do you start making a game? Hey, you're making the how-to videos. What do you reckon? Tim should do a how-to on how to make a game? Once he learns how to do it.
Well, I'd have to figure it out first, yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about your directing, your future plans, your past plans. What have you done?
Well, I've got a few movies in the pipeline that I want to shoot, but they've been in the pipeline for a long time, as most people in a similar sort of position would tell you. The one in particular that I'm hoping to be able to wrangle up some funding for is we want to go and shoot a murder mystery on a cruise boat in 12 days. So the theory is we could take a group of people onto a cruise ship, shoot a film in 12 days, try and get 10 minutes footage a day, and just sort of edit it in line and shoot the thing in sequence while we're there. There's a few advantages in shooting a film like that. One is it wouldn't cost a lot, because you don't need to create sets or anything like that, and you make stylistic decisions, so you just use natural lighting. You would choose to film it using things like the iPhone 10 and the RX100 Mark V cameras, really low key stuff, so that you're not interfering with other passengers and things like that. And we'd rehearse it like a play first, so and just shoot where we are. And the reason a murder mystery is really good for something like that is it's basically a stage play, and then we rehearse and rehearse and rehearse, and then we go and perform the stage play for ourselves on a cruise ship. And I really think we can get a 2-hour film out of that, with a lot of intrigue and a lot of interesting character, in a 12-day shoot. I mean, it's going to be as hectic as hell, but yeah,
not as hectic as 48 Hours though.
Oh, yeah, I'll get into that in a minute, but actually, not too far off that, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, actually, that's an interesting way of putting it. It's a very similar parallel, because in a 48-hour shoot, you want to try and get about 10 minutes of footage a day, ideally. So, but we'll have, because you have that one day to shoot. So, you know, in the 48-hour competition, you'll spend the first half day or first day writing, then you'll shoot it, and then you've got the last day for editing it. So it is a similar sort of thing, except we're not going to be... it'll be easier than the 48 hours, because you won't be trying to cram that story into that 5 minutes or 7 minutes or whatever Ant Timpson lets us have this year. And if Ant, you happen to watch this, 7 minutes is way better. Crushing it into 5 is an absolute arse.
I mean, it's quite a mission, even as you know, for crew and also for an actor to, you know, pick up a script, read it, get into character, shoot it. That's it. You know, as an actor, you don't get that chance to build that character, put on that character, and actually become that character. You just got to be kind of like human and portray that character. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I've tried being human before. It didn't work so well.
Oh, well, yeah, I suppose I'm talking to the wrong person about being human.
No, but you're right. You get very little time to do anything in the 48 hours, which is one of the reasons it really does show up the people with the natural talents, because you don't get a chance to build into it. You've just got to be able to be there suddenly. And yeah, it can be a bit of an ask for some people, and the ones that can really pull that out are the ones that really do succeed at the 48 hours and things like that. We'll have, the reason I think this this cruise ship murder mystery film would be quite good is it's a proven kind of story thing. It's all about character. It's not really about location or any physical or prop-driven device or something like that. It's all about somebody investigating and trying to solve this complex series of events and misleading pathways and things like that.
Well, I mean,
and it's all in the dialogue. It's all in the character. It's all in the confrontation and questions and asking, and the audience, keeping the audience engaged with that investigation.
Yeah.
It's about that investigation, and I think we can have a lot of fun doing that, and it'll be quite a relaxed shoot. You can do long shots, so you don't have hundreds of cuts all the time, that sort of thing. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the success of Murder on the Orient Express,
Agatha Christie, perfect example.
I mean, you know, I've only seen the first 20 minutes. I couldn't really get into it, but I believe it's a good movie and there's a lot of good reviews. So what I'm trying to say is, if that can do well, your idea is pretty much that, but on a cruise ship, a different storyline, but the same sort of...
Yeah, Murder on the Nile's the same. To a certain degree, even Hunt for Red October fits into it. You know, they've had the saboteur on the boat, and they're trying to figure out who this is and suspecting each other and that sort of thing. It's the same sort of thing. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it is a type of submarine film, and for those who are not into filmmaking that much, submarine, when people talk about a submarine film, they could be on a submarine, or on a train, or on a ship, or in a locked house or a prison or something. Anywhere where you've got an environment that's closed and restricted and the people can't get in or out of. Memento was another one that was really good.
I actually watched a really good movie, submarine based, the other day, Beast of Burden. It's got Daniel Radcliffe, as we all know, as Harry Potter. And he's got all of this conflict and stress and dilemmas and dramas all happening while he's flying a plane from A to B.
Yeah, an aeroplane, yeah, Snakes on the Plane, of course, is a classic one.
Mm.
Yeah, people love it or hate it. I don't know what.
Well, they came
Phil
out with
Jackson
what?
thought about it.
Snakes on a Train or something, didn't they?
Yeah, there was bound to be a sequel. Actually, a lot of their horror thriller type stories, Friday the 13th, that basically counts as a submarine film.
Mm.
You know, they've got no or limited interaction with the outside world. It's a very restricted environment, very claustrophobic environment, and that writing style and that shooting style sort of leads to and engages a lot of the tension in a film like that. Sound like I know what the fuck I'm talking about, don't I?
It's because you do. Well, I hope so.
I'm getting there.
If not, you're selling it. What else is in the lines for Tim Simpson?
We've got a horror flick that we were thinking about doing a few years ago that I'd like to have another whack at.
Mm-hmm.
I would really like to be able to, and this is absolutely ridiculous, and I have no idea how we're going to pull it off, but I would love to be able to shoot a Z-grade horror film in 48 hours. A full-length one. A 90-minute movie in 48 hours. It must be able to be done.
He's not asking for much, because we all know who one of the cast members are going to be.
Yeah, we'll give him a red shirt. But it must be possible to shoot a feature-length film, which is 90 minutes long, give or take, in 48 hours. It's just entirely a matter of planning. And I came up with this idea a few years ago, and one of the reasons I like it is that when you're working with little or no budget, you can get a lot of people to come along and volunteer and help you out.
Mm.
But only for a limited period of time. When you get into a second weekend, 10% of those people are going to drop off or go and have their auntie's dog's cat's barbecue or something. So they turn up.
Yeah, some sort of excuse.
They're not really that engaged with a lot of the friends you got coming along, do this sort of thing. And, especially when you don't have a budget and you don't have a pile of funds to pay for people to actually be there. And I just sort of came up with this idea of how can a group of us complete nutballs get together and plan and plan and plan and plan and plan and execute a feature film of some sort in 48 hours. There's no reason you can't do it. It's going to be crap, probably.
Well, yeah, probably, but it'll be fun and energetic, and I'll probably need a lot of a...
Yeah, and it's just going to be a really heavy exercise on how to make stylistic and technical decisions on how you can actually pull something like that off in 48 hours.
Well, we've got a weapon for it.
Well, I mean, that's entirely viable as well, yeah.
I'm getting the thrust going for Negan, so you know.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't think I don't think we want to make a heavy thrusting movie in 48 hours.
Talking about horrors, 48 hours, Lucille, an idea that I've had and I really want to find someone to work with is there's people that are doing Lord of the Rings parodies, Harry Potter parodies, all that kind of parody stuff.
Yeah.
I would love to do a Walking Dead parody. Maybe not with the humour, but there's some serious parodies out there, and I'd love to sort of do one.
Yep. One way of doing it is, and this would be coordination, God stroke, if you could pull it off, would be to make a 90-minute film as a one-shot film.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it would be a trip from one end of town to the other, sort of thing, and Shaun of the Dead springs to mind. You know, if you could do something that was Shaun of the Dead-esque, or that type of quirky story, and just follow a story around. It doesn't have to be following a character around. It can be following a story. But you just need to queue everybody up and have them in the right place at the right time, ready to do the right thing, over an hour and a half or 2 hours or something, and just take a camera with a shit pile of quick change batteries on it. Yeah, if you could set that up, there is no reason that you couldn't film something like that and follow the characters around, follow the story around from character to character, as a single shot film. I've done 2 single shot films before. They've both been in the 7-minute range. Actually, they were both dead on 7 minutes, I think.
Was it 4:48?
One of them was for 48 hours, and another one was for a film called, for a competition called Movie Fest, which ran some years ago, and I was just talking to one of the organisers of that a few days ago, actually, and they might be kicking that off again, which would be interesting.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, it would be good to see that. We could do with more film competitions in New Zealand, is just having that competition there to do actually gives people the impetus to get up and shoot something.
Well, yeah, considering Tim's got a lot of ideas and stuff, but actually getting off his a-hole to actually do something, it's a completely different story.
Oh, it's a matter of getting the time not consumed by other things, and actually having some headspace available to do it, and that's the real trick, is actually getting that headspace available.
So something I want to just briefly touch on, you guys would have seen a quick interview with the lead actor from Rata today at Armageddon. What did you do on set? What did that involve?
I supplied gear for that one, mostly helped with lighting and things like that. I didn't do a lot on set, but yeah, being around that was really interesting. The director of that, Rich Turner, is a good mate of mine, and he just does absolutely fantastic stuff. I encourage anybody to go just look up Rich Turner on IMDb. You'll see links to some of his other films there. Yeah, basically anything he puts his hand on turns pretty well at the moment. He's actually first ADing this film that I'm on this weekend as well, so just spent the last couple of days with him, last few days with him, and tomorrow, and really looking forward to that again.
No, it's always good when you find that good network of like-minded people when you click, and then, you know, it's not always about the money when it comes to that, because you work well as a team, it's a good story, good experiences.
Yeah. With a lot of film, it's interesting you talk about the money, because that is a large problem in the film industry in New Zealand, and while there are pools of funding available, they're heavily contestable, and they're very small, and I would absolutely love to see the film fund in New Zealand get a lot more money, and make that available to filmmakers who want to get out there and give something different to show. They've got some money at the moment, but it's not a lot. There's not a big pool at the end of the day, and while they do help out some really great projects coming along, and they start some people off,
yes.
There's filmmaking in New Zealand could become very easily our biggest export. There's so much space and so much capacity for us to grow so fast, and that could be our number one export in a couple of years if we really went into it. What Peter Jackson and Richard Taylor have done with Stone Street and Weta Workshop and Weta Digital and everything like that. Other people could do the same thing, and it would not be flooding a market with supply or anything. We could have other companies come in and doing a similar thing with a different emphasis or something like that. And it seriously would not take much for New Zealand to really corner the entertainment production industry, because a lot of our business practices here for it and everything like that, while some people have had bad experiences, and of course everyone's can come up with the same few court cases and stuff that have been known. We don't have all of the it's hard to know how to phrase this. We don't have a lot of the politics that have ruined the film industry in a lot of other countries and made it so hard to do. I remember a story from a guy I met from the States who's been working on films over here, and I won't quote who he is, of course, but he worked a lot of films in LA and Hollywood, and then came to New Zealand with the rings, like a lot of people did, and stayed here. He's quite a big name person. He's a well known person, and he said to me on the film set that he was absolutely astounded, and the reason he stayed in New Zealand and just shifted his family here and everything, and wanted to keep making films here instead of going back anywhere else, was that when some lighting and some sets needed moving on Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson stood up, put his coat down and went and helped to grab some stuff and move some things around, and the guys who were on the camera crew went and helped the lighting guys. Everybody else went and helped everyone else. And in the States, if you needed a light moved, you'd get somebody from the lighting union to do it. Nobody would touch anything that was the property of another union or another group or something like that. That you'd have to call them in, and everyone would be waiting for an hour till they got there or something like that. But New Zealand, everyone just chips in and does it, and it's just a fantastic work environment in the film industry here.
No, it is good, and it'd be good to sort of see it peaking a little bit more than what it already is. Tim's not always been the guy behind the camera. He's had a few spotlight moments. Would you like to explain your experience as an actor, extra?
Yeah, I like being in front of the camera as well. I grew up through school and afterwards on stage a lot, and I absolutely love being on stage. I do have one major problem with live theatre and theatres, the physical theatre buildings, and that is getting me out of them, because I just don't want to leave. I just love being in that space. It's just, something quite magical and separate from the entire world. And it's the same with film sets as well. When you've got soundstage film sets out at Stone Street.
And
out
amazing.
And the environment at Park Road as well. And I haven't been through Weta Workshop, but I can only imagine. And just being in that space and around people with that creative mind, and also being in a group of people in a theatre troupe who trust each other implicitly, and all have one focused shared goal. It's just a fantastic place to be when you go outside and you're in a world where nobody trusts each other and everyone's out for themselves and trample all over each other to be first in line. You can see why people in theatre love it so much, is because it truly is a cooperative, collaborative place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
A lot of other places talk about being cooperative and collaborative and things like that, but in a theatre it really is like that.
Yep. Definitely is. What projects have you done?
I've been... I like to go get a lot of extra work, not because it makes any money, because in the big scheme of things it doesn't. But it's a great place to make contacts, and it's a great place to go and see how other people work. So I had a chance to go along and be an extra on Avatar. Then I had a second chance to go along and be an extra on Avatar, but I won't get into that. And I was also an extra on The Hobbit, which was absolutely fascinating as well.
Get the bad. I'm super jealous.
Yeah.
I was meant to be an extra, but they never got back to me after the initial call of, I would like you to be an extra. After that, couldn't hear a damn thing.
Yeah,
I'm jealous.
Given you're about a foot shorter than me, and I got cast as a dwarf.
Gee, that's what I was meant to be going as.
Yeah, that's what... I'd originally actually had a brief chat at somewhere where I met Guillermo del Toro, and he was talking about looking for locals in Wellington area to play dwarves back when he was going to direct it. But sadly, that never came off. That would have been... I'd love to see Guillermo do the Hobbit reboot in some years' time.
Yeah, I'd love to see his version of it, eh?
Yeah,
I
or
was
or something.
secretly kind of glad that he left, because Tolkien's always been Peter Jackson for me. But now that it's all happened and everything with Peter and whatnot, I'd love to see a sort of,
Yeah,
Del Toro.
I don't know that it would
version.
be economically viable or a great idea or something. It's just entirely for my own personal curiosity. I want to see what Guillermo would have done with it.
And who he would have cast.
Yeah, and who he would have. Yeah, exactly, and who he would have cast and everything.
I might have actually had a chance to actually be somebody.
Well, you never know yourself as well. But I did originally get cast as a dwarf, and not one of the main dwarves, but another dwarf, and went along, and I had all of the big boots fitted and the costume all done, and I had all the prosthetics made and everything, and had went and spent a bit of time like a lot of the other dwarf extras did with Peter King, and that guy is just wonderful to work with as well. Had all that sort of thing done. The nose and the eyebrows, the new forehead and the big hands and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and then unfortunately Pete Jackson decided that they only needed 6 dwarves, not 18. So, but the extras casting agency in Wellington that works with Pete Jackson stuff they're absolutely wonderful people, and they're really keen on helping people have a go at things, and if you're enthusiastic and talented and awake and you're willing to do your bit and be there, then they're willing to help you out, and they really want to help people, which is really good. There was 3'6" at the time. They changed their name every project, I think, but yeah, so those 3'6" guys, they're absolutely lovely.
Yes.
Yeah, and really, really helpful, and they actually do give shit about people as well, which is...
It's been good. It's been lovely to chat with you, Tim. Thank you for your time.
No problem.
Is there anything that you'd like to add to the interview? Any ending thoughts?
Only that I'm incredibly hungry and rather sleep deprived, and starting to forget how to speak English, but that's what happens when you're working long days over Easter. Anyway, thanks for watching his vlog. Don't forget to click on that subscribe button down there somewhere, and the notify bell next to it. Click the like button. Leave comments below too. Leaving comments is really important, and then when you've done that, you can click on this round icon here to subscribe to my one, and this round icon here to subscribe to his one, and go watch all of our videos.
At the end of this video, there'll be a circular subscribe section for Tim Simpson. Be sure to go and check out his channel, watch all of his videos, give him a big thumbs up, all of that jazz. Keep him enjoying what he does, because he does it for all you viewers. And yeah, I think that's pretty much about it.
Cool, thank you very much sir.
Awesome, thank you. Sadly, that is it for the pilot season of Entertaining Interviews. But don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And sure enough, the next season will be coming very soon. Remember, if you're interested in getting an interview, drop me a line at axel@lexadixon.co.nz and give me a brief rundown of what it is and what expertise you fit in. Thank you for watching.